G'day everyone and welcome to another video. In this video we make our way to Bendleby Ranges, and on the way we spend one night at the Bundaleer forest there by Jamestown. Beautiful green area, that one. And then we move on to Bendleby Ranges, and it's there that we sort of change that to green grass for the dry dirt, but that's part of being up there. And we take a bit of a drive and have a look at the Sunset Ridge, and very beautiful up there this time of the year, and something that we've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. It was on the Wednesday, following the public holiday for the Labor Day weekend in early October, that we left home and started to make our way towards the Bundaleer forest. As we travelled north, it was great to see so many great crops and such a beautiful colour of the yellow canola. G'day everyone, and we have made it to the Bundaleer Forest Reserve, I think it's called. Campground here. It's a donation, $10 per night, and we're here for one night as we make our way to Bendleby Ranges. The campground here has you camping on the outer circumference of the cricket pitch oval, and you can't camp on the oval, and that's fair enough too. You don't want wheel tracks across the oval, but very green when we're up there on this trip, and a great time of the year to be moving about. Two other vans here during our stay, and the little shelter shed that we're now heading up towards too. That's where you pay your donation. It was a $10 donation to camp here, and in the corner of the building here is what we think is where you put your $10 in the donation box, although there was nothing written on it to actually let you know that that was the donation box. After a great night's sleep at the Bundaleer forest, we were soon on our way the following morning, making our way up through Jamestown, Blackrock, Orroroo, and then Johnburg, and finally Bendleby Ranges. Once we got through the small town of Orroroo, it was there that we left the blacktop and we hit dirt road that was going to take us through to Bendleby. It was 51 kilometres of good gravel road that was going to take us up into Bendleby. From the turn-off it was only a further 8 kilometres, and we were soon arriving here at Bendleby station, and we went up into the checking in office and there checked in to find out exactly where we were going to be camping. G'day everyone, and we've made it to Bendleby Ranges, here for 2 nights, and we're going to sit around and just enjoy the area at the moment, and then tomorrow we'll go out to Sunset Ridge and have a bit of a drive and see what we can find. Our camping location for this visit was right alongside the creek. Now this creek has run recently this year, but it certainly would be nice to see water in it, and from one site to the other is some distance, so you're not camping on top of anyone at any time. The area that we were camping in is called the Bendleby Ranges Campground. Now that's the main campground that is at the homestead, very large area, and further out along the drives and so on there are isolated campgrounds where you can go out and be totally on your own, but for us on this visit this was going to suit us nicely. Bendleby Ranges has achieved ecotourism accreditation, and for that reason you're unable to collect any firewood, and that goes as far as twigs. So each site has firewood supplied, and that's part of your site fee. Each camping site has its own name, and that makes it very easy to find the site that you should be camping on. There are a small number of pad sites should you need power whilst you're there. Bendleby Ranges do offer all types of accommodation up here in the way of camping, and as well as that they have got a camp kitchen here, and that's got washing machine and dryer in there that you can use as a complimentary thing to your stay there, and somewhere to sit down and eat the meal that you cook in there. And as well as that, outside they've got barbecues and great views from the balcony. Of course, on this trip Sally and I are on our own, but when you see sheds like this, I'm sure you could cater for very, very large groups. Base camp here, very large open campground site this one, and a very, very big shelter shed, so yes, ideal for that big group. There are a number of walking tracks that you can do from the campground that we're in, and whilst we were walking around the campground we thought we'd follow this creek bed that comes down from the hills, and it goes two ways, and once we got down to the end we did that left hand turn and continued to follow the creek bed that took us down to our caravan. With the creek bed running alongside the campground, it certainly makes for a very scenic location to camp at. Bendleby Ranges has been on our bucket list for a long time to come up here and camp, but it's one of those things you can't always squeeze every destination into your travel plans, but it suited us nicely with this one as we were making our way up to Menindee Lakes, and we thought we'd do that big swing and come here, but the afternoon was getting away very quickly. It's very easy to lose track of time when you're camped in such a pretty location. There are many four-wheel drive tracks here at Bendleby Ranges, and they are on offer to the public to drive. There is a cost to do these, of course, but that's part and parcel. And I wonder whether some of these tracks that we're looking at now as the drones in the sky, whether they'll take you out to those four-wheel drive tracks. As our afternoon on our first day was drawing to an end, it was time to get that fire going, get some coals and start to cook a barbecue tea. Because of all the eco-friendly accreditation that Bendleby Ranges has, they have to get their wood carted in, and I don't know what sort of wood it is. Sometimes I think it's old sleepers, but I don't think so. And then I think, well, maybe it's red gum, but then I'm not too sure. But whatever it is, did it burn hot on this open fire. Very easy to get going, and the coals are very, very hot. Once the barbecue was on and warmed up, gave it a quick clean, and then it was time to put the potatoes on for a bit of barbecued potato. And this is where things started to get a bit warm on the fire. The potatoes cooked that quick that I had to keep turning them all the time, otherwise they were going to be as black as the ace of spades. As we ate our barbecue potato slices as an entree, the meat was on and it was cooking just as fast as what the potatoes were. Great little barbecue plate, this one. We've had it for many years. I'd suggest maybe 20 years or more, and it's cooked 1,001 barbecues. It was the following morning that the moon was still visible in the western sky, and as that sun rose in the east, it coloured it up to be very pretty indeed. It was the later part of the morning on our second day at Bendleby Ranges that we went and did a drive. Now, the drives do incur a cost, and all those costs can be found on the Bendleby Ranges web page, and I'll leave a link to their web page in the video description down below. The drive that we're going to go on was one called the Hidden Valley Road, and there's a lot of isolated remote camping locations out there, and we'll have a bit of a look at some of those. And the further you get into the drive, the more scenic it becomes. It was a very windy day that we're on this drive, and for that reason I couldn't get the drone up into the sky as much as I wanted to. I was just getting wind warnings all the time, but this one here, we're at the intersection of the Gum Creek Drive and the Hidden Valley Road. It was at this point here where we start to go down into the creek, and that's when the drive really started to become very scenic. Bendleby Ranges is well known for its four-wheel drive tracks, and the further you get up into them, it certainly needs a high clearance vehicle. Not necessarily four-wheel drive, but a high clearance vehicle is something that you wouldn't want to bring a conventional motor car onto. As we reach towards the end of the Hidden Valley Road, there's an abundance of remote campsites here for anyone that wishes to come and enjoy this type of camping. We were told that at the end of the road here there is a great walking track, but for this trip we weren't going to do that. That's something that we'll do when we come back again. And at that point we turned around and started to head back out. We've now come out and exited the creek run of the Hidden Valley Drive, or the road that takes you up the Hidden Valley, and we're now more out on the flat, and you can see here that it's opened up, and for those that don't want to go up through that creek drive that we've just done, you can camp out in areas like this. The section that we're on now, I believe, and I'm not certain, but I believe is called the new track, or it takes you up to a new track. So we surmise that's a four-wheel drive track, and you can see it there in the white on the distance at the end of the road here. So we weren't going to do any four-wheel drive tracks. That wasn't our purpose of being here on this trip. So we turned around and started to make our way back. We were now going to make our way up to Sunset Ridge, but on our way we come into this campground here, and that's called Sugarloaf, and as you'll see when we drive in, very flat and a huge area for a number of people to camp on the same site. For our drive today, we're not required to go back to the homestead before we go to Sunset Ridge. We can do it from this road here, so we go past that gate there on the left. That's the one we came in, and we just keep following the road here, and eventually that will take us to Sunset Ridge. But we found this campground here and we thought we would go and have a look at it, and another very big and open campground. The countryside, the scenery sort of changes from this point on now. We're in different sort of trees, we're not down in a creek bed, but still very scenic as we make our way towards Sunset Ridge. As the drone now makes its way up into the sky, it's now looking at the Sunset Ridge in the far distance. As we slowly make our way towards Sunset Ridge, the countryside changes that little bit. The trees become very sparse, and it's all vegetated ground, of course, but looking so nice with the recent rains that they've had. Everything's green. And then you come over the rise here and you start to see some of the views that we're expecting from Sunset Ridge. From looking at the views out the front, we turn around and look out the back on the road there to the left. We'll take you to more remote camp locations. We've now turned off the road that we were just on and we're making our way up towards Sunset Ridge, and as we get up and keep climbing, the views start to get better and better. A little bit hard to pick up in the camera, but if you look hard enough, there is a remote camp location down there that you might be able to see someone parked at. As we now reach the top of Sunset Ridge, you can see the circle there on the right just going out of the camera view now. That's where all those magical sunset photos are taken and posted all over social media. Very beautiful spot to take those photos. We kept driving past that and we went up to a recent addition. We're not quite sure how long it's been there, but very pretty indeed. This one's just as great for photos in our books, but each to their own. With a bit of thought of what photos you're going to capture, this one here you could do a lot with, and we thought it was quite good. The views that you can see as you look across the hills and the plains from up here is absolutely breathtaking. From the heart, we made our way back to the Sunset Ridge, to the circle there, and it was there that we're going to snap a few more photos. This area is well known for taking sunset photos with the sun behind the circle, but we will be back at some stage. We came up to see all the countryside and the open plains and the hills and look at it in daylight. So from sunset point of view, that's on the next trip. The long distance views that you get from up here, I could almost say it's got to be close to the wow factor. With the countryside so green at the moment, it is beautiful to look at. Sally looked like she was getting a bit too comfortable here, so it was time to go and wake her up and start heading back towards the caravan. As we started to make our way down from Sunset Ridge, the views were absolutely spectacular. It just did not stop from when you left the top to when you got to the bottom, and it's something that you can't capture with a camera lens. We're now about to pass through our last gate for the road trip today, and like any gate that you find, if it's open you make sure it stays open, but if it's closed, always close it after you've gone through. As we start to drive away from Bendleby Ranges, we look back on the 2 days that we've had here, knowing that we've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves and that we'll be back again at some stage. Well, this brings us to the end of this video, and Bendleby Ranges has been one of our bucket list items for a very long time. We've really enjoyed our stay up here, and it's one that some stage or another we'll definitely come back and have another look at. So until that next video goes up, you take care and look after yourself.